Today's episode is going to be a fantastic one, geeks. Check out the progress behind me on the blacksmith shop, and boom, there's a new building. What is it? It's a stable for our house. Let's get ready to build. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Ylands with me, UTC. I got a little carried away after recording the last episode, and I just kind of kept building a little bit. I had a vision in my head, and I thought it would be super fiddly. I totally should have recorded parts of it, but we'll make up for it today. I want to show you what I've been working on. So when I left you, I had the two chimneys and archways, basically, and I had not started work on the big building. That was the first of a couple big buildings that we were going to get started on. And I did a bunch of that last night. My friend Arali was streaming, and I got caught up watching his stream and just kept on building. So I will show you what I've done, and then today together we'll take some of these building techniques. I hope you like what I have been working on, and we will bring them over to this side of the sort of blacksmith area. We'll attach into this archway here, and we will get building on a sort of big old building. I have no other better way to describe it. So, a couple of things I have done since you saw me last. I hid a little chest in here. This is actually the stone chest. It's flipped upside down and then kind of buried into the ground. It's kind of fantastic. I would totally recommend doing it like that. It looks like it's just part of the hearth. And then boom, I got all my iron, etc. that you would need for your forges. I also did this. I used wooden shelves to make a little, I don't even know what I'm describing, but like a little wood pile area, and then you can stash your logs there. This is just a tip for those of you guys that are playing. If you free place anything, and then you hold control while you click, it lets you choose how many. So for me, instead of just dropping my logs, I can take the 50 logs. I think there's some stacks of 50 in here. It's a little empty. I wanted it to look good for you. Those aren't big stacks. But then you hold control and you place, and you can place it like that and get a really nice looking wood pile. Speaking of, I got chopping down a lot of trees over here, trying to get myself a nice clean backdrop for the blacksmith area. I added in a couple of little lanterns up top. I had teased you with that idea earlier. And then the big thing was I got working on this area, this building. So step one was the same sort of small 2x1 bricks that we used here and here. I came in and I started laying sort of the outline of the foundation like this, knowing that I wanted the inside to be clay. This is the building I was going to use for the kilns. So I did that. This is a big stone block. Just a little tip if you are using this. There is a light colored side and a dark colored side. If this was wood, if this was clay, I would use my hammer and smash it out. But with stone, I swear guys, it's brutal trying to break a single piece of stone. You gotta do this maybe 90 times. It takes forever. So we're stuck with this. They don't quite match. Like these ones all look good. Looks good, looks good, looks good. Actually, this side's good too. So it's on the back here. No, actually, you know what? There's not too many. This one is wrong. And this one, you know what? I could probably do it. I could probably fix it, but I don't really want to. And I teased you the possibility of maybe I can access this from the other side. It totally worked out that way. So let's come to the inside. These are the same as these stone bricks that I used on the outside, but they're the clay version. You got to bake them in these kilns. I filled this room with kilns, and you can totally access this right here. I had to do some decorative stuff to kind of hide the little details at the back of the fireplace. Added in a couple of these sideboard type cabinets, and I actually did and upstairs, and this I am pretty proud of. I like the way this looks. Let's go ahead and get ourselves upstairs. Whoops, there is a little staircase. Let's go back to third person view. There's a little staircase up here on the outside, and we come on up, and I put a little door in here. So what I'm standing on here, this bit, is the wooden desk. It's like a 2x3x1 shape. It's great. I lined it with the beams, etc. That's more of the desk. And then these are super resource intensive, so I would not necessarily recommend doing this. Once I started, I didn't want to go back. These are the wooden windows, so they require 10 nails each. That's the kind of the brutal part. And I have obviously, like, whatever this is, 8, 16, 24, 32. I have 64 of them, so 640 nails were needed to do this tiny little room, which is kind of stupid. It really is. I added in a few stoves up here. I think this is temporary. I don't think we will leave this as a cooking area. and we need to get a roof on the place. So I have learned from my experience, not too much playing Ark, a little bit playing Ark, but from my experience playing Minecraft, that depth is really important to making buildings look good, and I had pictured this sort of medieval style. We've done this in Ark. If you go back to Coal Harbor in Season 3 of Ark Building Evolved, I did a medieval area, and so my plan when I got here was to kind of capture a bit of that Tudor style. I wanted the top of the building to be a different color than the bottom, and I wanted some three-dimensionality. Those are words, right? Three-dimensionality? I think so. I wanted some three-dimensionality in here. So I had built the whole frame out of beams first. And these little crisscrossy ones, these are individual little 90-degree angle bits. So there isn't kind of like a nice smooth line that runs up along them. But from a distance, you can't really tell. And then there's these 45-degree angle ones like this that let you get really steep. And then I used this gigantic, here, I'll show you it. Yeah, it's going to be over here in this box. Right here. I used these. These are great. And, hold on. Let's grab a couple of these beams right here. Boom. And I will show you. I think this is right. Spin it around so we get the light-colored side. This also has a lighter and a darker side. And then, so basically I did this. And I would build up. Hold on. I would build up like this. Like I said, three-dimensionally across. Like so. And then I think I'm going to want to pick this all back up before we're done. But I think these are the ones I need. And then you can see kind of like you would just go boom. And then, whoops. And then this. And then, God, I'm the worst at this. And then, okay, so this isn't really designed properly for the width. I think I'm going to run out of space here. Close to it. But something like that. That's what you would do. And so for me, that gave a ton of detail. I started to get really excited once I played with that. And I really have a vision for what we're going to do today. I think the first step, guys, my next plan in the long term is to get working on a big sort of long building. This will tie into it. This will be the start of it. And then running along here will be a big building. Eventually, I'd like to put a little spot for my horse, Smiler, and tuck him in there. And then all kinds of storage. Eventually, I would like to convert the upstairs of that place into sort of a bedroom, sort of like where the blacksmith would live, that sort of a deal. And this is his sort of, maybe this is more like his shop or something like that. It still feels more like a workshop than a shop, so I don't know, it's hard. I could probably build bigger, but building this big, guys, this took me hours working away at this. So this will be a series where I build off camera a lot, I think. So my first plan for today actually is to get working on the roof. Now let's go ahead and I'm going to show you I think the way that we're going to go. So one thing I have yet to set up here is the dyeing rack, dyeing station thing. How many? We got a few logs. 58 is plenty. I have yet to set that up here. So I'm curious if we could dye a roof to be a custom color. I feel like a green roof would look fantastic. But if you dive into building, assuming you have the saw in your inventory and you go roof, we have these three options. So this is the sort of chunky one, the three-dimensional one. This is a smoother sort of slope with a shingle pattern on it, as is this. Now, this seems to, at the moment, only come in red and only seem to have one sort of degree of slope to it. So I would have to work with that if I wanted some color, and I think I do. I think the roof needs to be a different color than the beams. What I'm sort of picturing is that if I'm sort of picturing the slope going up like this towards the top of the chimney, but I'm a little intimidated because that chimney may not be tall enough if I have to slope at a 90-degree across there. So maybe we slope up like this and just put a simple pointed roof on, and that would allow me to sort of continue some of this woodwork up into a archway. I don't know, guys. I think it's something I will get started on. Clearly, the sun is setting on me. I will get started on this off camera, get this episode rolling, and I will be back in your life to show you some progress. I will not do too much without you, I promise. Alright guys, I am actually going to bite the bullet. The plan for this place was to kind of custom build around each of the important crafting stations. We did that with the blacksmith's forge, we did that with the smelting furnaces, and yesterday off camera I did that with these kilns. Eventually, I need a custom place for this dyeing station, but I really want to know. I really want to know if I can dye it whatever color I want, and I guess we're about to find out. Let's go ahead and try this out, and I'm going to place it here. It's not crazy resource intensive. Yeah, and I guess I could always pick it up if this doesn't work. Let's try this. Yeah. Oh, that's okay. Oh, yeah. I think this is the direction to go, guys. So that is a stack of 15. It's going to use a lot of black. Okay, so this is going to use a good amount of dye if I want a different colored roof. I wonder if for this first building we ought to keep it simple and go with red. I mean, I am wearing red. But for some reason, like a mossy green colored roof speaks to me. You know what, guys? I think it's good to know that we can do this, but I mean, that's 4 pieces per. I'm going to use so much of this. I'm going to need to load up on dye. Okay, so let's have one last look. Let's throw you in here and let's see, because you can choose any color, really, guys. I don't know how that's too light on a roof. So that's the thing. Whatever I do, I'm going to end up needing a good amount of black before I'm in love with the color. I say, you know what? I say, as fun as that is, I'm going to get those resources back. I'm going to not use that dyeing stand. And I think we will put a red roof on it. I'm going to put some time in off camera doing it. Like I said, guys, go ahead and take a break when you come back. I think I'll have this roof completely done. And welcome back, guys. Take a look at it. I hope you like. I did end up doing quite a bit of building off camera, but it's the kind of stuff that I think would have been pretty boring for you. So I'm not in love with the roof and the way it turned out. I kind of wish I didn't have this little strip, if you see my cursor, this little strip of wood going up there. But my plan was to kind of match it in, to tie it into this beam across the top, which I end up liking a lot, especially with that diagonal bit. And I think the red works. Honestly, I do. I like the red. I do want to show you on the inside. So if you look here, that is one piece there, and there's another flipped upside down right next to it. So that, oh, that's not how you get up there. Let's go ahead and take the stairs up. And then on the inside, I didn't bother doing that. On the inside, you just have these big chunky steps. That's what you would have had on the outside if I hadn't gone to the trouble of that. And that's actually why I couldn't figure out how to work around that strip of wood that runs diagonally across there. I couldn't really figure out a good way to make that look good. Anyway, and then on the inside here, I used these clay bricks, these bigger ones and the smaller ones. Roughly look the same as this, but definitely a different color. Same thing I had here. And I placed them all up there, and I kept them all sort of similar in color scheme compared to what I did here, where I was twisting and turning things all the time. I think from the inside it looks good. I think from the outside it looks pretty good. And I'll show you the work that I did, guys. I've been thinking about, a little bit of framiness, I've been thinking about this next big building. And like I said, I actually sat down and recorded me laying out this whole thing, but it was super boring. I did not want to make you guys sit through that, and it would have made the video almost over without a whole lot of progress. My next plan is this: work on a little stable for the horse. So that's kind of the work I did. These are wooden panels. Ooh, stop. Wooden panels on the ground here. Okay, that's pretty good. So I want to be able to tuck the horse in here. I think what I will have is a doorway through here, and so this will be the horse, the actual stable. Through here we'll have like maybe a little tack shop. I can put some hay bales. I can make it look like a spot where you would saddle and shoe a horse, that kind of a thing, or where you would work on that kind of stuff. I don't know, we'll work it out. And then I've been working out an entrance. I think I'm going to have sort of a bit of a sloped one, but I already like the way this looks. I think we're going to be using more of that clay brick texture. It's one of the more time-consuming items to create because you have to bake them in the kilns, but I got 3 kilns. I should be able to make good progress with them. Yeah, it should be good. But instead of doing this where it's stone, you know, up well beyond your head, where the whole first level is stone, I think we're going to kind of have the stone stay maybe right down here and transition straight into the clay. I think that'll look good for us. I just haven't figured out exactly which clay blocks I'm using. So traditionally in a horse stable, it is a door where the horse can kind of stick its face out. And for me, the closest thing I could find to that, oh man, that's glitching a little bit, were these saloon door things. But I had so much trouble. Like, if you guys look at that little red thing, I am not sure. Wow, the glitching. These doors are weird. I really don't know how they're supposed to work. But, like, that red outline at the bottom there, I guess that is where you mount it. And I can't figure out how to... I can't figure out how that's supposed to work. Like, I can't find... And there's some real lag. Apologies, guys. I hope that's not my internet. I can't find... I had it before. I can't find a single place where you would actually put this in place here. No, that's definitely not me. What is going on? Good lord. I hope maybe it's just this door. Maybe that door is behaving super weird. So let's go ahead into the inventory and we'll take a look at these. So the other thing... Yeah, that's working fine. That's no lag at all. Man, those... Okay, so avoid the saloon doors for now. The other thing about a horse stable is there's often 2 sets of doors. And so I think we are going to go this way. Now, the challenge here, guys, is getting these to line up. So I think... Oh, Lord. Let's scroll. Let's get off of them here. And we will try and do that. So you can see they're lined up perfectly there. If I flip it, they aren't. So I think what I'd have to do is rotate it this way. Like so. Okay, perfect. And then, yeah, you'll often find with stables, there is an upper door and a lower door. Okay, so let's put this one here. Let's make one more. And let's try this out, guys. And boom. So, I think if I were to come to the inside, open up you. Whoops. Ooh. Oh, right, because you're brand new. Hold on a sec here, guys. I wonder, how do you open? I is open. Ooh, I hope that's not always. Okay, we'll see. Is there a countdown timer? Yeah, maybe it'll be better when that countdown timer is gone. But this is kind of what I had in mind. Now, will you stop at these gates? Yes, you will. So let's stop like that. Perfect. So this is kind of what I'm thinking. It's not perfect. He doesn't really stick his face out, but that's kind of the look I was going for, guys. So the sun is setting on me. I need to do some work, guys. I will not be getting this gigantic building done in a single episode, so let me take some time away, and let me see what I can do, at least with this little horse stable side of the new big building. I always seem to bring you guys back right around sunset, and I don't know why. Apologies. I wanted to show you some of this progress before I got much further. I'm not sure what to think. That is kind of a little bit short and squat for me, this upper part. Or it's not quite in proportion to the lower part. I'm not sure which it is, but I intended for this bit here. It's the narrowest of the sections. This is quite a big section, and then these 3 are all equal in size, based on how I've laid them out in advance. So I kind of anticipated this to be the shortest and smallest of the buildings. But I wanted to show you, I'm carrying on with the same technique we have used up until now. Let's go third person. Yep. Perfect. And so I am kind of working out, as I go, working out little bits of the design, little shapes, and continuing this sort of Tudor style of things. We're going to go, this is why I keep going back to first person. For some of this, it is much easier to go in the third person mode, like so. But for other parts, definitely not. For other parts, you benefit from being able to go third person. You can seemingly see a little bit further and things like that. So this stable, I'm kind of building off an image that I've found that inspired me and got me thinking about doing a stable right here. I wanted to find a spot for my hoss for Smiler, and I think I've done the same over here. Let's work our way back on this side. Yes. Okay. Yep. Okay, perfect. Let's grab more of these, and then I decided on this section, and we'll see. Maybe that's what's making it look or feel short to me, but I did decide to do a less steep roof, which means our traditional red shingles that we used on the last build may not be useful, which I think what I might do is break out the dyeing stand and dye those shingles, those sort of chunky ones that you see there on the blacksmith area. I was thinking of dyeing those to match the roof that we used on the rest of the house, because I plan to use that more often. And I'm struggling here. That's not how you... Dang it. I had this rotation game down when I was off camera, guys. I tell you. Okay. And then we are going to want, once again, before it gets dark, and like I said, I think with this series, I'm going to have to cut away often so as to get some stuff done. It is tough to get stuff done. And man, this time of day, it's a little bit hard to see, but I'm pretty sure that goes there. This can go right on top of there. You know what? We'll worry about that in a sec. It'll be easier once we get this across. I'll go across, like so. And is that perfect? No. Okay, so we're going to want to work that out. I didn't think it was perfect. And then from here, guys, oh, my daylight is going to go on me. But I'm doing the exact same thing we just did there, if I can show you, like this. And then I rotate, and I tuck this in here, and then we rotate. I think I'm really going to enjoy the building in this game, guys. I'm already finding myself enjoying it. So, oh, daylight's almost entirely gone. So let's do this. All right, and I'm going to carry on my work here, guys. Like I said, it's going to be a little slow and steady as I work this out. I'm going to bring you back. I think I'm going to work out what material to put in behind this, whether it's more of the clay, and then I'll work out how to do the roof. I'll bring you back to dye those pieces if it's possible. All right, guys, some ideas are starting to flow. Some ideas are starting to come to me. I'm going to keep this part of the video very short, but I just wanted to show you. I basically went and put some flooring in this room so that I could have a spot for this dyeing stand, and I made sure I could build behind it before it was permanent here. And then in this dyeing stand, guys, I wanted to show you how... Oops, did I drop everything I needed? Yes, I did. Let's go ahead and pick up those and those. Those are the 2 bits. So if we hop in here, and I will find where the roof bits... Yes. Okay, so that is the color. If we go in here, I wanted to show you there are multiple palettes. So this is the palette, the default one. This one is the one I have used. These are the colors I've used for my personal clothing. And then this third one, I'm starting with color matching. So that's the color of cowboy boots or something like that. I forget what I had to pick with that one a while back. And then this is the color. So if I were to click, I think there. Nope, I didn't do it right. So if I were to click, right-click, I can add that color to the palette. You can throw this in there, and then you would pick the color. And that would tell you, okay, well, you're going to need 2 red, 1 green, and 2 black for each piece. So if you're going to be dyeing a lot, guys, it's going to be difficult. But I think it's going to let me do this. Let's try this. Right, okay. So these aren't even the pieces I wanted to use, but we will eventually find a use for them. But now we have pieces that are dyed. You know what? Let's just put one down here temporarily that will hopefully match the pieces that default come in that color. How close are those? Almost spot on. So that's pretty cool, guys. I'm going to pick these up, and I wanted to show you the idea that this has inspired for me. So I went into the pigments, and I started having a look at what's renewable, what's recreatable. For the color red, which is one I imagine I'm going to be needing a lot of, obviously we have the seashell options. We also have raspberries, sumac flowers, and other things. Specifically, though, the raspberries. For me, that's something that's super renewable. You can plant a raspberry bush and pick it, and they're all over this dang island. So I'm going to set out to go find some, but I planted a crap ton. Being that we're builders, being that we will eventually get bored with the style here, I think a farm dedicated to pigments is going to be cool. So for the time being, I slapped in a little raspberry patch back here, and I'm going to go try and gather some up so I have lots. But our experiment has worked, guys. We were able to dye the roofs. We have these, obviously, but now we also have these. So we have a steeper version, which normally didn't come in red. That gives me a ton of options and a ton of ideas and inspiration, so that's cool. I just want to share that with you. I have a couple things I want to try. I have not tried dyeing glass, and I think that for this build, that is cool. Let's do it. I think I have plenty of dye now, and I'm working, as you can see, just beyond this dyeing machine is a raspberry patch and some sumac trees. They dye similarly. So let's do that. Now we have some brownish colored windows. So I hope you're beginning, I say this every time, but I hope you're beginning to see the potential of building in this game. I'm so excited for where we could go together, guys, the kind of things we could build. Let's go to palette number 3. Let's load up. I have, I think, as many roofs as we need. So let's dye. Oh, that's 50 of them. Here's 25 more. And let's go boom and dye them. Okay, so we're going to throw... What is... Oh, that's... Okay. Okay, let's get out of here. Let's throw this on the hotbar to start. And we're going to begin by replacing some of the stuff I took out. And let me know if you think this looks better or worse. But we're going to incorporate that same color into the map. And that's going to... Or into this first part of the build. And this is going to be the roof of this stable. So we're going to slap a roof on, we're going to put some windows in, and then we'll add some final decorations. And if this ends up being a longer episode, apologies, but I do want to share all of this with you guys. I think, like I said, we're very near the end. So my dyed windows are going to be for right here. Let's go ahead and hop in. Oops. Okay. And climb up. I've added a ladder to the inside. Okay, cool. So let's try. I have big windows and small windows. I think what I want to do, yep, is that. Oh, you know what? The space is not the size I thought it was. Okay, that's fine by me. Let's just do that then. And we'll hop up here. I thought I had a slightly different size space than I do. So let's go ahead and do these. Right here. Okay, guys, so this is it. Okay. Let's take a look at these. And turn those sideways. Boom, boom. Okay, so this is what I'm thinking. Something to this effect. Like so. And we're going to come all the way across. Now, these are obviously meant, I think, to go the other way. But I like them like this. And I think this is going to give us... This, if you were doing especially in this color, if you were doing like a Roman style, I feel like that would be fantastic. And we'll slap these in. And then the last thing I'm going to want to do with you guys today, and we'll go until it says we can't anymore. Beautiful. And we'll do the same thing over here. One of the last things I want to do with you guys today is some decoration. So over the course of my digging and my gameplay so far, I've found a few things that I think would decorate up a stables really well. I have a couple of old horseshoes. I got a spare anvil. I have a cowboy hat and a pair of cowboy boots that I found out in the wilderness out here. And I already have a pair of cowboy boots on. And to be honest, I like my hat better than any cowboy hat ever. That hat is so good. I love it. Okay, so let's go ahead and slap these in. Boom. Okay, so there are benefits to third-person building sometimes, guys. You can just get a better view of your project. Let's come across like this. And dang, does this look good. Okay, I had a vision of how it might come out looking, guys, and this is, oops, even better than my anticipation. Go all the way, boom, across. I got 11 left. Okay, so, oh, man. Guys, I think that's great. So I had to decide whether the roof would overhang or not, and I decided not. I decided I like the way it looks just like this. So eventually we are going to get our butts moving and build the next part right here, which will be sort of a tack shop or saddle shop. And then we will have 1, 2, 3 sort of 16 by 16 spaces. The first one is going to be for dye, clothing, etc. And then we can have various types of storage. Out the back, we're going to do gardens. We're going to do gardens for red dye, for green dye, for blue dye, for whatever I can do. So before we call this an episode, guys, let's go ahead and make this horse stable as good as we can. Now, I do have... Let's go ahead and take all of this stuff, yeah? I do have one thing that I wish I'd thought of. Every time you log in and log out, your horse is facing north. So I log out with his face pointing directly out this door, and I log back in and he's doing that. So if I had thought ahead, I would, the next time I do this, I'm going to put my stable doors on the north side of the building, which would be over there, instead of the south. And my map resets every dang time I log in, just like he resets. So hopefully we get that, we improve that with time. But what do we have, guys? We are going to make a couple of hay bales. Now, gosh, these are huge. Okay. So I say we stash a couple of them back here. And I think we'll do one like that. And I'll put one on its side, right next to it. Like so. Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, that looks good. And then I had the ability to make a little stool thing. And so I kind of had a vision for how this would work. We will see. It doesn't look quite like I was hoping it would. Underneath looks like a log piece rather than a piece of stump. But yeah, here, let's go ahead and we'll put this up against a wall, like so. And then I'm going to try putting an anvil on top. Now, that's a little bit low to the ground, but you might need an anvil in a little stable. Okay, beautiful. And, okay, you know what? We're going to get up top for this bit. Ooh, and it looks cool up here. I think what we should do... Actually, you know what? It's not going to be visible if we put stuff up there. So you know what I think we will do? We'll take a pair of cowboy boots. Whoops. And those, I think those are my good ones. I think these are the ones I want to put away. And we'll take a pair of cowboy boots. And we'll stash those maybe... let's put them on top of the hay bale. I think that'll look all right. Boom. And we'll do the same thing with a black cowboy hat. Now, I dyed this to match the boots. This thing normally comes out in brown. Ooh, and it's got a weird sort of angle to it. So let's see if we can't... Ooh, wow. Okay, let's see if we can't adjust it. Sorry, guys. That's kind of a freaky rotation. And spin you around like so. Boom. Cowboy hat, cowboy boots. And the last thing I have, and maybe we'll put these right on top of the anvil, are a couple of old, rusty horseshoes. So... let's rotate one like that, and okay, we'll put it maybe like that. And then I think it's good luck to have one above the door facing up. When I was a kid, I lived in the country, and our little barn had something like this. I think it's bad luck if it's upside down, good luck if it's facing this way. That's the old wives' tale of it. And up, boom. Oh boy, guys, I think that does it. What else did I have? Anything? Oh, you know what? Here's the last one. I think we'll free place a few nails because these tend to go with horseshoes. They are a kind of a hand-in-hand item. That's actually how you get shoes on a horse. You nail them on. Maybe we'll put these on. Okay, one sec here, guys. Let's go ahead and raise this up and do something like maybe like that. Oh, right. I have a couple. And like that. Okay, and that feels good to me. Okay, guys, I think we may be done. Let's go ahead and turn the horse around. Boom, 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 boom. We're going to go ahead and close his lower gates here. Let's go ahead and close this door. Let's back up and take a look at what we have done. Guys, it's been a heck of an episode. I'm not sure how long we've ended up at this point in the video, but today we worked out this roof. I showed you the kind of the off-camera work I did. We figured out how to dye pieces of construction material, which is going to change our game. Like, imagine these in a dark brown. Imagine these in, a mossy green. I mean, this game has so much goddamn potential. I can't wait. And I mean, just look at that. All right, we got a lot more we're going to be doing in this world, guys. But for today, the big project, other than that roof, was a stable for our horse. Could it give me a smile, buddy? Nah, I didn't think so. I put a little loft up there and everything. I am pretty darn happy with it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. By the way, this, if you are new, is the Geeks Patreon server. We live in an amazing world, depending on the outcome of net neutrality and things like that, where you can ignore all geography and bring together a community of people based on similar interests. And I have been doing that over the last year with the Geeks. We mostly play Ark together, but we now have this, the Island server, and I am falling in love with the game and playing here. My friend Dynamic D has got a place on the other side of this island, and we'll be streaming here on the weekend. If you would like to come join us, if you would like to come take part in this little community of builders and claim one of the many islands out there in the world, it's patreon.com/UTC, and I, these days, am a full-time YouTuber, mainly because of my Patreon supporters. It's a wonderful time to be me and to get to wake up every day and build in my favorite video games, so thank you so much, guys. Click on this playlist if you want to dive into more Islands videos, and click here to check out the Patreon, but that does it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next episode. Bye!